And welcome to Healthcare Sucked. Something different, huh? Let's jump right into it.
Americans getting mixed messages tonight at a time we can ill afford it. COVID cases are exploding, doubling every few days in some communities in this country. Now, with calls at the state level growing louder and more insistent for Americans to isolate, President Trump, focused on boosting the economy, is talking about ways to get back to business soon, putting him on a potential collision course with public health experts who say this is no time to lower our guard. Our team is in place and leading our coverage. Miguel Almaguer with a reality check of where we are tonight.
With nearly half of the nation's population under orders to stay at home, tonight a skyrocketing number of Americans are testing positive for the coronavirus as states struggle to contain the deadly outbreak. In New York, the number of confirmed cases statewide is doubling every 3 days. Tens of thousands are sick.
We're not slowing it, and it is accelerating on its own. We're now looking at a bullet train because the numbers are going up that quickly.
With infections spreading fast, in part because of high density and commonly used surfaces, the governor says he needs ventilators for new makeshift hospitals like the Javits Convention Center. In neighboring New Jersey, a ventilator is keeping Jack Allard alive.
He's just a good boy.
Jack's parents, Jenny and Andy, say the recent college grad fell ill 10 days ago. Now in critical condition, the young athlete is fighting to make it to his 26th birthday next week.
He's in a coma, and the nurse was nice enough to bring an iPad and show us what he looks like, but, they're not talking.
Across the nation in Los Angeles County, 80% of coronavirus cases are adults 18 to 65 years old. And today, the city reported the first death in a patient under 18. But those most in danger of turning critically ill remain the elderly. Word this afternoon, 81-year-old legendary playwright Terrence McNally died from complications of the virus. Today, the president said he wants to get Americans back to work and businesses open by next month.
I would love to have the country opened up and just raring to go by Easter.
With the virus spreading fast, many governors are threatening fines, even jail times for ignoring orders to stay away from crowds. But there is no national mandate, and some leaders are choosing to stay open for business.
Many governors today around the country have put in place shelter in place. I am not going there.
In addition to Rhode Island, states like Florida and Texas have no statewide regulations to keep residents home, leading...
Yes, she's an idiot. Remember I talked about the stupid? Ding, 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 stupid. That's what we're going to do from now on, I think. Ding, 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 stupid. I won't even explain it. You guys already know.
Some to worry they could become the next epicenter for the virus. Our Sam Brock is in Houston.
All of the biggest cities in Texas, including this one, have issued stay-at-home orders, but not in rural areas where some residents tell me not enough is being done to keep them safe.
As the global crisis also continues to unfold, a symbol of world unity, the Olympic Games, has now officially been postponed in Tokyo. Swimmer Katie
we talked
Ledecky
about it.
is a gold medal favorite.
We know that this is the right call, and we can have a little bit of time to take a step back.
Tonight, a worldwide...
And the right call by Team 99. We called it, a month ago? Not that I'm happy about it, by the way. Because I'm not. And I'm eating, so excuse me. We're doing Healthcare Sucks, Feeding His Face, and doing the news. Here we go. To the really big show.
Crisis hitting home as fear and uncertainty spread across our country.
In a White House briefing that just wrapped up, there is growing concerns about New Yorkers who have left that area and perhaps gone to other states. We are told that 60% of the nation's coronavirus cases come from the New York area. Anyone that's left that area needs to self-isolate for 14 days. It comes as the number of cases explodes
in states like here in California. Lester?
Yeah, a very telling.
And they're not. And unfortunately, from other places like Washington, which is up here from Oregon, they're doing the same stuff. And you know, I understand people wanting to get the hell out of Dodge. In the big cities, this is going to be a rat race. Remember we covered it about what the insects and the rats are going to be doing when people aren't shooing them away and killing them every day? And that's just part of it. Imagine what plagues are going to come from that end. And on with the shoe.
Morning, Miguel, thank you. Now to the battle within the battle, and that's about how we protect those trying to help us. Yet some hospitals tonight are still rationing personal equipment, the protective equipment, and pleading for more from their states, the federal government, even corporations. Here's Tom Costello.
In ERs and ICUs tonight, a pitched battle to keep patients alive, but with doctors and nurses still running critically low on protective masks, face shields, and gowns. At Leominster Hospital in Massachusetts, doctors use paper bags to store and reuse their masks as they go from patient to patient.
We are there to be at the bedside, and we will be at the bedside no matter what.
Guys.
You know, so you don't think about sort of your supplies or rationing, and if you need to be at the bedside, you're going to be at the bedside.
Some healthcare workers are already sick, like San Diego nurse Megan Usich, homesick and waiting for test results, afraid of infecting others.
We're feeling sick, we're trying to get testing, and either we're not getting the testing or the testing is taking 5, 6, 7 days to get back.
Experts continue to warn hospitals could eventually need hundreds of thousands of additional ventilators. A frustrated New York governor lashed out at the White House.
Where are the ventilators? Where are the gowns? Where's the PPEs? Where are the masks? Where are they?
But the vice president insists help is coming.
Earlier today, 2,000 ventilators were shipped directly to New York. New York is truly the epicenter of the coronavirus now in our country. 2,000 more will be arriving tomorrow.
Governor Cuomo says he's bought as much protective gear worldwide as he can, but probably only enough for a few weeks. Meanwhile, companies big and small are stepping in. Ford says it will produce 100,000 face shields. It's working with 3M to ramp up production of respirator masks and with GE to expand production of a simplified ventilator. GM and Tesla also promising to make ventilators, though experts caution it's a complicated process that takes time. In upstate New York, a small creative studio is also using its 3D printers to turn out face shields for hospital staff.
We can hear the urgency in their voice, and we feel that urgency. We're working as quickly as we can to get anything into their hands as possible.
Meanwhile, the pandemic is affecting lives beyond the ICU. Emily and Billy Shear are expecting a baby girl any day, but their hospital, like many in pandemic hot zones, is not allowing spouses in the delivery room.
I'm nervous at the prospect of what happens when something goes wrong, and sad about the idea that he just won't get to be there at the birth of our second daughter.
Also tonight, the FDA has approved a self-administered kit for people to use at a test site, swabbing their own nose, then submitting that sample for COVID-19 lab work, though it may take some time to roll out. Lester?
All right, Tom Costello, thank you. With the Senate close to a deal on that huge relief package, including checks for Americans, stocks soared today. Peter Alexander now with more on President Trump's goal of reopening the U.S. for business despite guidance from many health officials.
President Trump tonight explaining why he hopes to have the U.S., in his words, opened up on Easter, just 19 days away.
Easter's a very special day for me. And I see it's sort of in that timeline that I'm thinking about. I think Easter's...
Unless he knows something that we don't, I do not see that happening, my friends. And I honestly wonder why our president's in so denial right now. Again, I don't think this is a hoax, guys. Look at this, the numbers. There's just no way. I don't think it's a hoax. And the other thing is the president needs to get off his butt and do the mandatory taking over the factories and get them on the ball. Period. I don't know why he's dragging his feet. He's losing votes every day, guys.
Sunday, and you'll have packed churches all over our country. I think it would be a beautiful time.
But that proposed timeline goes against what his top health advisor told NBC News just days ago about how long the pandemic will last.
I cannot see that all of a sudden next week or 2 weeks from now it's going to be over. I don't think there's a chance of that.
The president arguing the White House's social distancing guidelines could be eased to allow Americans back on the job.
We can socially distance ourselves and go to work, and you'll have to work a little bit harder.
And that the economy cannot wait.
You can destroy a country this way by closing it down. You're going to lose more people by putting a country into a massive
It's too late for that. Guys, look at Italy and France. China's the only suspicious one, period, guys. And again, I'm going to throw it at you. This is a man-made bioweapon. I'm going to state it straight out. Call me out if you think I'm wrong, because I'm not. How it was released is another question. There's also new evidence coming out. I'm going to be doing a video on it. That they were sending out people to other cities dressed in weird masks and stuff that were carriers, is what it looks like. Intentionally to spread that. That makes this bio war. Period. And with no sick military, no sick of the factory cities, and no sick emperor's families at all. And Xi's running around like he's already had the vaccine. And antiviral now, I believe they're given to people. I do believe that they sacrificed a bunch of people. They don't care to look good. But the thing with this in the United States, guys, I don't know how you can see that. I mean, whatever Kool-Aid he's drinking, it must be damn good Kool-Aid because the president don't drink.
Recession or depression. You're going to lose people. You're going to have suicides by the thousands.
Top Democrats warning the president not to loosen restrictions too soon.
What the president is suggesting is really a formula for more uncertainty, more infections, and more harm to the economy.
Whatever the president decides, Americans are still subject to restrictions set by governors and mayors, including shelter-in-place orders and school closures. All of it as the Senate nears a deal for that $2 trillion emergency relief package. The bill's expected to greenlight checks to most Americans, about $1,200 per person, $3,400 for a family of 4, and 4 months' salary for workers who are furloughed.
Okay, if she's so worried about it, Mrs. Pelosi, yeah, I said it like that, sorry. I know I'm trying to bring peace. But still, with her coming on and saying things like that, why in the hell don't they negotiate to where, again, all seniors, disabled, mentally ill, homeless, and then, yes, the rest of the average Joes? I mean, it's ridiculous that people drawing salaries up to $75,000 are going to get that full benefit. And people above that are going to get a partial benefit, plus tax breaks. It's just bull. I'm not going to say it. You guys know what comes after bull. Say it 3 times to yourselves. 1, 2, 3. And I can say, yes, I feel that way too, guys. But I am so disappointed in them, in how they're acting. Depending how this comes out, I may push for a third party. Serious, guys. It might be time to just, if they're not going to treat us right, and we're going to be deplorables from both sides now of the fence, in the end, as he's always trotted, the forgotten men and women, if the forgotten men and women, seniors, disabled, mentally ill, and the homeless do not get the same checks, I put to you, we stand together and we fight and we call for a change. Not the left, not the right this time. Even if it means throwing an election one way or the other, too bad. And meanwhile, they're burying Bernie again. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not a super duper Bernie bro, but the thing is anybody knows that's fixed. And why in the hell would Joe be the pick? They've had some better people than Joe. Anyway, enough with the politics. Let's move on.
As for that Easter timeline, late tonight, Dr. Fauci weighed in saying he has spoken with the president and that date is, quote, very flexible, but they will need to evaluate its feasibility first. Lester?
All right, Peter Alexander, thank you. And for now, the pain is only getting worse for American businesses and their workers as those job losses grow. Here's Jolene Kent.
Tonight, across the country, businesses large and small shedding jobs as the impact of coronavirus deepens. Major airlines grappling with the possibility of cutting even more domestic flights as so many take off nearly empty. Florida now mandating that anyone flying from New York, New Jersey, or Connecticut must self-quarantine for 14 days upon arrival. The airlines worry that other states may follow Florida's lead. In picturesque Hudson, Wisconsin, stores are closing their doors to adhere to the governor's new Safer at Home order, going into effect tomorrow morning. Art gallery owner Ruth Masenko has run her shop for nearly 20 years.
Yes, we can last, but how long, I don't know.
Throughout the country, restaurant reservations have plummeted to near zero as millions stay in.
It's been really frustrating, honestly.
Andrew Volk was forced to close the Portland Hunt and Alpine Club restaurant he owns with his wife, furloughing all but one employee.
There's frustration as to not having control over something that we've worked very hard to build. And there's sadness for our staff in not being able to provide them answers.
All this pain coast to coast is adding up. Jobless claims are surging, crashing some state unemployment websites, with the unemployment rate expected to hit 9% by the end of the year. On Thursday, we'll find out how many people filed for unemployment claims, and that number is expected to be in the millions. In the meantime, businesses say even after this pandemic is over, they expect it'll take at least 6 months to recover. Lester?
Boy, this virus hitting us in so many ways. All right, Jolene Kent, thank you. We'll be right back in 60 seconds with the all-out campaign to recruit nurses and keep them safe. And desperation and heartbreak as Americans turn to unproven drugs. Nearly 1/5 of the world's population is under lockdown tonight now that India is the latest country to impose strict rules. But China, where the virus originated, is looking very different. Here's Richard Engel.
China is finally reopening. Visitors returning to the Great Wall. The Beijing Zoo open too. Even Wuhan, the city where the coronavirus broke out, is slowly returning to normal life after 2 months on lockdown. But India, the second most inhabited nation, is heading in the other direction, announcing a 21-day lockdown for its 1.3 billion citizens. In Italy, the death toll spiked again.
Smart. India, I want to give them hats off. Hats off. Hats off. 21 days, guys. That's almost your 30. That's a hell of a lot better than 2 weeks. I mean, they should have went the 30-day. But, and I don't know why people are so stupid on it. It's been proven now that 30 days is the incubation and can still be contagious. I mean, so why in the hell would idiots do a 2-week? Wait a minute, guys. You gonna know what this is before I say it? What is it, guys? Agenda 21. Put into effect by One World Order. I know you're missing my face, but I'm eating. You don't want to see all my food on my face, damn it. Love you all. Let's go, man.
Today, around 700, near record levels. But people are still breaking the rules. The country's mayors fed up. With the frustration, sacrifice too. An elderly priest who gave up his ventilator for a younger patient he didn't know died today. In the UK, organizational problems. Limits on public transport have meant that the subways still running are packed.
My God.
One virus patient speaking out.
Please, none of you take any chances.
I mean it.
I spoke to a mathematician specializing on how epidemics spread. Do you believe the numbers that are out there?
I think it's very likely that most case numbers are substantially underreported. The US and the UK probably have many times more infections out there than actually showing up in the data.
Richard Engel, NBC News, London.
And we keep coming back to medical workers. There's so much demand for nurses right now that some hospitals are offering major perks to keep them and us safe. Here's Cynthia McFadden.
Across America tonight, millions of nurses are fighting on the front lines of a new war. Catherine Ramos is an ER nurse at a hospital just outside New York City.
We need to be together.
She spoke to us from her hospital's hallway with an urgent plea to nurses who may still be on the sidelines.
You have your license. Go. Help us out. We're all in this together.
They can't get them in fast enough.
Michael Fazio is the CEO of Prime Staffing, an agency that recruits nurses for hospitals all over the country.
How many more nurses are you looking for than you would on a normal day in March?
I mean, at least 15, 20 times now.
Fazio tells us New York City hospitals are desperate for nurses, especially for the ICU and emergency departments. Last week, his team recruited 100 nurses for New York area hospitals. They need to recruit nearly 2,000 more. The money is great. Salary's twice the normal rate, which will put some nurses at $100 an hour or more.
Holy moly!
Perhaps more important than the money, keeping these nurses safe. So Fazio offers a range of protections.
My name is Jessica Gonzalez, and I'm an ICU nurse.
Like being driven to and from work in black cars, whose drivers are certified.
Personally, I believe they should give them all $100 an hour. It's called danger pay. You know, like when our guys are in war type this. What the hell? It's only money, guys. Think about it if it was your life. With that, we're going to watch some other stuff. I don't know if I covered it because I'm just jamming, guys, doing all kinds of stuff right now. I tried to have an entertainment day a little bit. I hope you guys got to watch some things. Hey, it was all fun and games. Got to have some fun. Today I tried to work on the truck and getting the studio set up. I'm still not done with the studio, by the way. Knock on wood, no leaks so far, so we're going to go ahead and throw it back together. Hopefully I don't have to tear it apart. Florida Marquee. That's Florida Marquee. Like the sword fighting Marquee. Excuse me. I've watched him for years off and on. He used to work for intelligence, I believe. So the guy's got some, smarts there. Covers a lot of different things. You can go back over the years. He was all over the Ebola thing, which I was impressed with that. He was over, I can't remember the ships getting attacked and stuff over there overseas. With that said, he's put out a scenario that's kind of interesting. So I'm going to give you both sides of the coin and my personal opinion on this. So he seems to think it's awful suspicious that Hillary Clinton's up popping her mouth off. Yeah, I'm saying it straight out. No candy coating tonight. And about, saving the environment, saving this and that. And the Democrats are throwing all these strange things like we're going to live for another 1,000 years kind of stuff, emissions control, how planes can do, double insulated cloud fart bags for cows. Not kidding, really. And even more ridiculous stuff. Meanwhile, if we were, this is his point, if we were in such a crisis, why in the hell wouldn't we do the crisis thing and just move on and we can argue about stuff all later? So it does have a good point. I'll give it that. However, point versus point. The Democrats are looking, this is not, when we're talking politics, here we go. It's an opportunity to get what they want. And that's how politics are done and have been done for years. But at the expense of lives at the expense of us. Now, there was a rumor, in all fairness, that they were fighting to see that what I'm talking about, the forgotten men and women, the seniors, disabled, mentally ill, and homeless, we're going to get their cut of this. No holds barred. And with that, like I said, if salary people and all them can get it, Social Security and everything is a fixed income. And it's the most ridiculous. Even if you worked hard, you're not getting rich off Social Security, guys. Believe me. And then the more money you make above that little bit, they turn you and bend you over and take it back. Believe me, I've worked with people helping them get Social Security for 30 years and done the numbers. The bottom line is, if they are trying to do good, I'm going to give credit out there. I'm going to try to be super like what I've done in some of my other videos. Credit where credit is due. So if they're really looking out for the forgotten men and women and stuff, like I said, good. Then hold out a little bit. But if you're not, and it turns out this is all over double insulated cloud fart bags, and expanding that now to horses and deer and antelope, I'm not going to be happy about it, and neither should you. I mean, another thing that I push for, I didn't tell you guys, it's on my camera that I'm filming with. I got a hold of a representative in Oregon. I want to give him credit, so I'm going to have to give him credit in the little words so you can see which representative it was for Oregon. He wrote me back. I hit him up with our question about all of us getting the equal share, like I just told you. I don't need to repeat it again. And I asked him about governors immediately giving out $500 on a SNAP card cash and $500 food stamps immediate, like yesterday, for everybody. And he said he's going to look at it, and he said that they're addressing right now, making sure that people have food, money, and stuff and whatever. But yes, he gave me the runaround some. But there was he's gonna run it by. It's more than he answered. It was an email, but it's like answering the phone. He's the first one since this has started to have the cojones to get back in touch with Healthcare Sucks and treat us all like we're human beings, guys. So again, I want to give him some credit. I mean, at least he's reaching back. So with that, hopefully we'll make some progress. And our wonderful governor, see, I'm being nice tonight. I didn't say anything about a small-sized, didn't say it, did I? Jokingly. So we'll see. With that, I'm going to end the video. You only had to put up with my ugly mug for a few minutes, but I'll be back. Because I always come back. Because I keep coming back. And I'm like a boomerang. When you throw me, I come back. And with that, my friends, as always right now, these are troubled times. God bless you. I'll say prayers for all of you. Say prayers for me. It's dangerous right now. I've got to go out and get meds in a day or two. And I've got to risk getting what I feel a few last items. One more time, when you're out there shopping and you're getting the rice and the beans, the hardcore stuff, don't forget to buy some spices. They're like 99 cents at the dollar store and places like that. I just made some stuff tonight just for the heck of it. So I made some regular white rice, took some bouillon cubes, threw them in there, for chicken, and added some spices. And then I did have some chicken, in all fairness, and I put spices on that too. And then when the rice was done, I made my own kind of thing, throwing some carrots and peas in it. You can throw whatever you like in it. And then if you're going to put egg in it like they do, cook your eggs separately. I messed up. I didn't cook it separately, and it made it kind of pasty. You don't want pasty. And that's cooking with healthcare, because healthcare knows how to cook. I can cook a turkey better than any mama out there, because you know why? Because I cook turkey. And I can talk turkey too. Love you all. Healthcare sucks!